um, of the quote, I said my brain began to think back of pitch and frequency and
Mm-hmm.
how voice and pitch and frequency moves water, but the snow and the avalanche is just frozen water,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it's
Yeah.
still and still the pitch, it's still
Yeah.
the pitch can still move the frozenness or the snow, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. And how it's beautiful and yet so dangerous. And we can be stuck in these places that it seems like it's bliss, and we're
Yes.
just blissfully ignorant of the danger that
Mm-hmm.
lies beneath the surface. But getting on that frequency, man, there is a sound. There
Mm.
is a sound that shakes heaven's gates, that causes a reaction in
Mm-hmm.
the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And if we get on that frequency, and we can speak to these mountains and have them command, that is it only takes one voice. That is
Right.
such a I'm gonna put that on my YouTube face. It only takes one voice
It takes one more.
at the right, but that's what
The
good
right pitch.
family is made of,
Mm-hmm.
is the softening of the voice, is the meeting people where they are,
Mm-hmm.
and that level of frequency, like you know when you tapped into that vein, and tears begin to flow, and all of these things that they I never meant to tell you this. I didn't come here to say all this stuff today, but I feel like it needs to be said. The avalanche is flowing, the
Mm-hmm.
mountain is shaking, because the mountain has to come down. That is powerful. I mean, I'm just like, my mind is like blown. I'm like, God, you are amazing. You are amazing. And the other thing I was thinking about, because when I called you to do this, I was just like, hey, I want to go live. I want to, I don't know what I'm going to call it. I don't know what we're going to do, but I feel like I need to be doing something. And you
Wow.
were like, let's do it. Let's get a name. All right, here's 5 names right here.
What do you want to call it?
The
What do you want?
Lord showed me is there was a prompting in my spirit to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to go fast for 5 days, 15 days, 20 days. It was an urgency, a prompting to do it. And when you pull people who are on this frequency and on this level, you're not going to have to go and validate all of these
Mm-hmm.
things. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
say, let's go, let's
Mm-hmm.
move, and the next day we were live.
Yep. That's right. Working our way through it. That's right.
The
And
next
haven't
day,
stopped
the next day.
the next day.
That the power of God I see is like every night this week. I think I've been getting in the bed about maybe 1 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
because I made space for this, or we've made
Mm-hmm.
space for
Mm-hmm.
this. That doesn't mean all of the other to dos of life have fell off, because people are like, oh, they ain't got nothing better to do
Oh,
than be
no.
online and to be there. No, don't. You
Yeah.
know,
We're
all of
still
those
doing
things
it
will
all.
exist, but this is about priority.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you sense God is doing in this season?
You know what's funny? Um, while you was talking, I'm gonna go back a few. Um, in this season, there is a major shift that's taking place in the core of the ones He has called. And when I
Mm-hmm.
say called, I mean those who are serious about God and those
Mm-hmm.
who are looking for change, and you've been looking for a shift. And it's so funny because you know exactly like, hey, I feel something is shifting. I'm moving differently. I'm thinking differently. I'm taking on the authority. I'm feeling. Let me say. I'm feeling comfortable in the authority that's been placed on me. You see what I'm saying? So it was different seasons in life where I was like, not sure if I want to do this, not sure if I want to go there, not sure. And now in this season, you feel the mantle of God that's on your shoulders. And in that season, I'm like, God, why do I normally I don't feel comfortable? I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like the unfamiliarity. But God is saying,
Mm-hmm.
I need for your spirit to be familiar because I called you before the foundations of the world.
Mm-hmm.
which now that there is an alignment with who I am as in flesh, along with my spirit man, then now I can walk in alignment with my spirit man, saying, no, 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 I'm exactly where I need to be. If I'm unfamiliar, my spirit is very familiar because it's kind of like a deja vu moment. I feel like I've been here before. I feel like I've had this authority before. I don't know why I feel like this, but I feel like this. I feel like this. Now, with that being said, while we were talking on live and we was talking about the mountain, we was talking about the voice pitch can shift, can change, can cause an avalanche. You know, one of my favorite movies is Frozen.
Mm-hmm.
So my brain began to go frozen. And I said, oh my God, we know what she did in the midst of Frozen. She was so in denial because of what happened, trauma, what happened in the beginning of the movie because her parents died.
Emotional.
Every time she spit out her gift, it came out as jagged edges. It was pushing people away. It was powerful, but it was pushing people away. And people thought she was a witch. People thought that she was not human, but it was a gift. But then what did she say? I'm gonna give up this kingdom for another kingdom. And I'm gonna go to the mountains and I'm gonna build the kingdom that's on the inside of me. And when I began to look at the words, it's funny because the words say, let the storm rage on, because the cold never bothered me anyway. Come on, sneak peek. Dr. Stills was talking about that little stanky attitude. The cold never bothered me anyway. I can be cold. You can be cold. I can be stank. You can be stank. But she said, the cold never bothered me anyway. Whatever they're going to say, you can say whatever you want to say because the cold never bothered me anyway. Now, this is what's funny. As she was pursuing up the mountain, she said, it's funny how some distance makes everything seem small. Just because you are running away don't mean that you're going to get away from the problem that you need to confront.
Come on, it's inside.
It's inside.
Come on, the mountain is you.
The mountain is you. So she said, I done threw away my crown. I done gave it away. But she said, it's funny how some distance makes everything seem so small because I'm leaving the thing that hurt me, but not
Yeah,
understanding the thing that hurt me is on the inside of me. And then
yeah.
and the fear that wants control me can't get to me at all. It's time to see what I can do. It's amazing. I'm gonna stop there because sometimes God pulls us out of our environment into unfamiliar environments to test your capacity. No
Yeah.
one knows you. No one's familiar with you. When I moved from Dallas to here, I felt like Kill Bill. You know, she moved to that little town in Mexico, and she was like, "Nobody know me out here. They don't know I'm a force to be reckoned with." But in the end, I sat there and I said, "Lord, no one knows, so that means I can expand by the man. I can play
Mm-hmm.
with the gift." And when she got
Mm-hmm.
up to the mountain, she said, "It's time to see what I can do to test the limits and break through."
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
No
yeah.
right, no wrong, no rules from me. I'm free. Then she says, let it go, let it go, let it go. Here I am. She said, and then here I am, and here I stay. Let the storm rage on. The cold never bothered me anyway. But this is where it got me. She said, my power flurries
Mm,
the snow through the air into the ground.
mm,
Those power flurries were her ideas, was her imagination. My soul is spiraling in frozen fractals all around. The ideas that I've had, and I'm speaking them into existence. Come on, positive
mhm,
affirmation. She said,
mhm,
and one thought
mhm.
crystallizes
Come
like
on.
an icy blast. I'm never going back. My past is in the past. Let it go. Then she said, I'll rise like the break of dawn. It was a new perspective. And I
Yeah,
know it's funny
the
because
mind change.
it's a mind change. I come with all the movies. I'm a movie buff.
Mhm.
I come with all
Mind
the movies.
change.
But the mind change brought vision.
Yes,
Vision was built and manifested on the top of the mountain that shifted. At the
yes,
right pitch, it just didn't bring down the avalanche. It built
yes.
it built an empire. And in that empire is where everyone found her. And she said, but I'm good where I am. I don't have to go back down there to be to be the limelight and tap dance in front of people.
That's
I
right. That's
finally
right.
reached the core to who I am. And love is where I need to be. And who did she bring forth? She brought her sister in. She's like,
Mhm,
no, I got wisdom, I got
mhm,
love, This is what I need. But in the midst of it all, the brokenness brought her
Mhm.
back to who she was on the inside.
Right, right. Now, roll that back, because we talked about the 18, and the sister was a part of the team. She always wanted to be a
Mm-hmm.
part of the team. I remember she's knocking on the door. Do you want to build a snowman? Come on, let's go and play. I don't see you anymore. Come out the door. It's like you've gone away. Right?
It's
He said, we
only
used to be best buddies, but now we're not. I wish you would tell me why.
do you want
You
to
want to
build
be
a snowman?
snowman? Okay, bye.
Hmm.
She had isolated, I don't know why that thing is stuck in my head. She
Come
had
on. That's good.
isolated herself
Mm-hmm.
because of fear.
Come on.
And when we talk about the trauma, isolation is one place that people go. And it's not that you don't have people knocking on the door saying, where you at? What's going on? How can I help you? Like you don't trust yourself to be
Yeah.
around them anymore because you have changed.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't trust that
Mm-hmm.
the people around you that have experienced this same trauma or
Yep.
secondary trauma, they're not the same either.
That's right. That's
And
right.
it makes it even worse because now I've not only lost this, but I lost you too. Come on, you
Come on.
ministering to
That's good.
someone who has
Mm-hmm.
lost a kid and has also lost a husband and lost
Yeah.
a wife or lost a family because
Yeah.
I can't find you in the shell of a
That's
person
right.
anymore.
That's right. That's right. Come on.
Everything is falling apart.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Isolation does bring about revelation,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to be so sensitive
That's
to
right.
who you're shutting off,
That's right. That's right. That's right.
who you're cutting off. And
Mm-hmm.
there's power in that. And, and
Mm-hmm.
and I don't realize, I don't know if people realize that you've cycled through all of these different types of emotions, and every emotion at some point is here to serve you,
Yeah. Yeah.
is here to teach you a lesson, is
Yeah.
here to facilitate this next level.
Yeah.
If you hang out in any one of those emotions too long, it
Mm-hmm.
could be detrimental,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you stay in sadness too long, it turns into depression. Stay in depression too long, it turns into death and suicidal ideation. If you stay in anger too long, it turns into this whole big brood of violence.
Mm-hmm.
If you stay in happiness too long, you lose your grasp on
Yeah.
reality.
That's good.
So there has to be this healthy balance.
That's
We
good.
have to find a way to balance out these emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
everything that we talked about on tonight had a place.
Yeah.
And I'm just amazed that every time we do one of these, there is this one thing that the Lord will hone in on
Mm-hmm.
and to drive this message to people that this is what needs to be done now.
Yeah. Now. So it's a sense of urgency on now
Now.
in this season.
Now is the time.
Yes.
This word is, you scroll through this now because now is the time.
Yes. Yes.
And you need somebody in your life that will be willing to tell you the truth.
Yes. It's a
That
sense
you've
of
been hurting. Yep,
mm-hmm.
you've been hurting. You've been suffering. And I see your suffering.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is the hour of the seer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? If we talk about the stage and the age of the church, this is the hour of the seer. You
Mm-hmm.
need people that can see what's
Mm-hmm.
going on in your life.
That's right.
It's crucial.
Mm-hmm.
It's the utmost importance.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine all the time that we have been around others who did not see us, or we have not been around a seer? So that could be unfamiliar as well, and it could be very frightening. I think with like you said, everything that we've spoken about tonight, even ending with that movie Frozen, I think it's saying no longer live in fear. Open up the door to the impossibility that you were talking about. It's possible. But
Impossible.
now that you are chiming into Empower 360, you have seers that's on the line, and we're going to tell you what we see. We're going to tell you the
Hmm.
time in the season, and the goal is to transition you into who do you need to become in this season to make it work.
Hmm.
I think that's the question that many of us don't ask. We'll just say, like you said, I'm gonna chime in and I'm gonna grind, I'm gonna grind. No, who do I need to become in this season to make this win? I'm gonna have to transition. Who do I need? Who do I need to become for you? Something I
Mm-hmm.
normally ask my kid or one. No, no, no. Do you need mom? You need a coach? You need a sister? You need a mentor? Who do you need me to be? And
Mm-hmm.
I think if we really got into prayer, I think God would challenge the majority of us.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And he'll say, I need you to level up in this season. I don't need you to
Oh
sit
yeah.
back anymore. I need you to level. I need you to be the prophet in this season.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
many prophets right now that's on the line, you've been awakened. You've been
Oh yeah.
disturbed. You've been distracted. And let me tell you why. You're not distracted, disturbed, and awakened because the enemy is fighting you. That's God saying, I need you to get into place.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something about being in the stream. I was thinking the first night we did this, and afterwards, I was like, that's where I need to be.
Yep.
Like I'm in a Zoom camera all day. I've
Yep.
been battling demons and devils all day, situational
Mhm.
experiences all day. But that's the stream. When you put your foot in the stream,
Mhm.
there's this. Oh! I'm home. this this is where
It's my
this is where
sanctuary.
the real change
It's my sanctuary.
takes place. And
Right.
I've been asking the Lord, so God, what is this intersect between faith and mental health?
Yeah.
Because I can't just preach to people all the time. There has to be some
Yeah.
instructions. And you've called me to be a teacher. Where is the place of the instruction, faith and mental health?
Mhm.
Where is this intersect, and how do we pull people into this? Because you got people now who are deconstructing faith
Mhm.
because of
Mhm.
whatever trauma. I don't need Jesus, I don't need any of that stuff. I'm just going to take this little portion, and I'm going to pick and choose what fits me in this hour, in this time.
Mhm.
And most people don't realize how thin the ice is.
Yeah.
That's a slippery slope.
That's right.
And all you need is a good push from the
Mhm.
enemy.
Mhm.
And you're so far away from anything that would resemble faith.
Mhm.
And sometimes you could get so far out there in spiritualism
Mhm.
that the enemy blinds the minds. It's hard for you to find your way back.
Mhm.
And so I've been kind of exploring. So, what does this look like when I'm dealing with someone who is used to be a Christian and they're deconstructing faith? And what line do I walk to
Yeah.
meet them halfway?
Yeah. I
Okay.
agree.
It's not my goal that they find the church
Yeah.
or
Right.
religion.
Right. Yeah.
My goal is that they see Jesus.
Yeah. I agree. And you know what? I think it's platforms like this that will help. Think about it. This time and day, a lot of people don't even go to the house of the Lord. That's due to COVID. After COVID was the purpose of me actually going. Many of them still chime in online. So I think this is a fine line where we can help with transition. You can help with the faith and mental health. A lot of people don't, again, you coming from our old times of, I'm not gonna age us,
Mm-hmm.
but growing
Right,
up in the
right.
church, God forbid you ever mention mental health.
Yeah,
When you
yeah.
mention mental health, you're basically saying like it's almost like you're denouncing Jesus. This is like,
Right,
I didn't say that. I just said I'm
right,
having problems with my mental health, and
right.
but you just have to believe. Yeah, but I believe, but I still have a problem. So to
Help
put
my
those two,
unbelief.
help my unbelief. Now that we marry the two, is
Hmm.
allowing those who do need assistance to get the assistance and still be empowered by Christ
Hmm.
Himself. So I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah.
necessary in this
Oh,
season.
I mean, you got this spiritual component where there's a breach in my spirit, like I've been torn. My not just in this flesh, been hurt or wounded, but my whole idea of family, my blueprint of mother and father and
Mhm.
cohesive system has been torn. at the core, if you're talking about like historical abuse and calamities or
Mhm.
trials or growing up in these things, the fabric of what a nucleus of a family would look like has been torn. And so now it's not just the spirit
Yeah.
that's been ripped out of what does a father look like, and how
Yeah.
can I embrace a mother, and how can I see God being that father. My mind
Mhm.
has created pathways that has made it impossible for me to see God as a good
Mhm.
father. I
Mhm.
see him as a judge and a jury over every little thing that
Mhm.
I may do right or
Mhm.
may do wrong. I can never measure up to be this righteous person because I've got to do all of these things. Do I need to
Mhm.
be baptized again? Do I need to repent again? Do I need
Mhm.
to go talk to the, bow to this person and talk to this person, and all of these legalese that these burdens that
Mhm.
we've placed on people, and they've grown up
Yeah,
in this thing.
that's right.
Now that they're an adult, they can't do anything right and feel
Yeah.
righteous or feel that
Yeah.
God has accepted them. And because it's so debilitating to think that the God that made the universe has rejected me because I can't pray 15 times a
Mhm.
day
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
is is too much to bear.
Yeah.
Then if I'm going to hell, I might as well just go to hell in a handbasket. I might as well
Mhm.
just do, because I'm never going to be accepted.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think we've done people a disservice.
Mhm. Mhm.
We've got to come back. The letter killeth.
Yeah.
The letter killeth. And so we're under this grace and this mercy, and
Yeah.
God gives us this great grace. I think there is an opportunity for us to share
Yeah.
the love of God, to
Mhm.
share the grace of God,
Mhm.
to share his work that
Mhm.
he's done. Because he's done this work, I can cease in my labor.
Yes.
That has to be forwarded to people. That's kind of how this church trauma keeps re-traumatizing people when
Mhm.
they try to integrate
Mhm.
into church. Number one, they come to church looking at man,
Yeah.
and they fail to see that man and God is a far cry.
Mhm.
Right? His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. He's
Mhm.
high above our ways. He's high above our thoughts. We have to let God be God. Right? He
Yeah.
never told us. There's nowhere in the Bible where it tells us to trust people.
Right. It's
What we're
trust.
really trusting
Yep.
is we're
We
really
are.
trusting. I
That's right.
trusted you,
Yep.
Pastor. I trusted you, and you've fallen. I've trusted you, woman of God, and here you've let me down again.
Yep. That's
There's
right.
nowhere in the Bible does it say trust people.
That's right.
The Bible admonishes us to love people
Mhm.
and trust God.
Mhm.
We've gotten that wrong. And
Mhm.
because we've gotten that wrong, we've put people on a pedestal, and they continually let us down time and
Mhm.
time. And that blood,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
That's right.
is on our
Right.
hands.
That's right.
Our garment has been stained.
So tell me
There
this,
has to be work
the
to bring people back.
when people go to your website, what do
Mhm.
you want them to experience?
So when they go to Dr. Sandra Stubb, actually I have two. So I have I Finish Strong, ifscounseling.net is the website, ifscounseling.net. At ifscounseling.net, you will find blogs, you will find videos that deal with mental health,
Okay.
that deal with mental health issues.
Okay.
There are positive prayers out there because I am a Christian based mental health company. So you'll
Mhm.
find prayers out there, you'll find YouTubes of encouragement, you'll find documents out there that will help you to navigate moods and resources. You
Okay.
can, any of these resources out there are free. So that's at ifscounseling.net. Then I have Dr. Sandra Stubbs, which is a training, faith and mental health
Mhm.
conference building, website with e-courses, books, and materials that you can get there. And so the Empower 360 will be at the Dr. Sandra Stubbs page.
Mhm.
And there will be, for each of these episodes that we're doing, there will be worksheets and handouts for each of these days that we've got. And so
But
we're putting them up there just as quick as we can create them and get them made. You can download them.
there's a what I'm hearing. There's a level of passion that's in your heart for the people of God.
One
Uh,
hundred percent.
where can they find that, or where will you be creating that content so that they can find that?
So that's going to be on the Dr. Sandra Stubbs. Yeah, that's on the Dr. Sandra Stubbs. That's the integration of faith and mental health.
Okay.
Yeah,
It
that's
it
on the
sounds like
integration
to
of faith.
me that it would be great if the components that you were just speaking about so passionately about, I think it'd be great if you had some type of course. I know you do small conferences right now, locally
We do
and things like
faith and
that.
mental health conference. We just
Faith
kind
and
of travel around and do the faith and mental health conferences. It's really small, it's just for the small church or for the church,
hmm
and whosoever will that wants to come and learn about the integration of
hmm
faith and mental health. There's a handout on that website, Dr. Sanders Stubbs, as to what we cover. So if you want us to come to your church, we're more than happy. My husband and I do the conferences together, so more
hmm
than happy to come to your church and host a conference there.
hmm
Um, it's for people of faith, but
hmm
not limited to people of faith. Because after doing this work for so long, what I realize is um, people need God. A lot of people want God, but they're afraid of religion.
That's right. That's
They're
right.
afraid of being brainwashed. They're afraid of believing something and ending up wrong.
hmm
Right? They're afraid of they've got this spooky, idea about all different types of things. And when you lay out the foundation of who God is and the love of God, more people are more apt to come toward love than they are condemnation. Any
hmm
day,
hmm
any
hmm
day. And so on the Dr. Sandra Stubbs page are I've written several books. Like we've written a book together I finished long years ago.
hmm
That book is available. Holding On While Letting Go is a book about learning what to keep present, what to be mindful with, what to hold on, love, passion, gifts, all of the great things, and then how to drop off the dead weights.
Good. Okay. That's
It walks you through.
definitely
That book's a
needed.
great book.
Yes.
So that book is a great book to kind of do some work in and take it into your counselor and reprocess some things
hmm
from that book because it can be heavy depending on your life,
Yeah.
depending on the
So
things that you walk through.
perhaps after Empower 360, we take our time to probably explore one of your books,
Oh, for sure.
because I
Oh,
think
for
that
sure.
will still help the community that we're building right now with Empower 360. And
Mhm.
it'll be that holistic approach of the totality of the person who is coming to Christ. We're going to speak everybody into Christ, but those who are
Mhm.
in Christ and those who are coming to Christ, I think it'll be very great to integrate
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
content.
Yeah. If you're wanting to do the work in the book, I will encourage people to download the workbook
Okay.
form from the Dr. Sandra Stubbs. Like the book on Amazon is just like I think a 45-page leaflet. There's no room in there to write down your things. And so if you're interested in the workbook form where there's a place where you can write down things and it has the prompting questions and the lines and things to write down and it's very colorful, you can download that full workbook from Dr. Sandra Stubbs and it comes right to your email box and you can print it out and you can do the work.
So where can they purchase it?
drsandrastubbs.org. It's in the resources. Mhm.
Okay.
Yep, I think it's like $14.99. You
Okay.
can get the resources, and so it's a great resource. And so I would download it and begin your journey. There's no better
Yeah.
time than the present.
Yeah. I love it.
Mhm.
Thank you for the sneak peek, the behind
Yeah,
the
yeah,
scenes. I think it's great.
yeah.
we got to know a little bit more about Dr. Sandra Stubbs and the things that she has available. So make sure
Mhm.
you go out to drsandrastubbs.org. She has a couple of books that's out there. Again, like she
Mhm.
said, if you want something to write in as a spiral or what have you, go to the website, download that. But make sure you go out to drsandrastubbs.org and purchase the book and get to know more about what she's doing. Faith
Mhm.
and mental health, I believe, is on the rise.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
so they'll be able to find your information on that website as far as if they need to book you, bring you out to their church,
Yes.
have an event, or
Yes.
what have you. Okay, perfect.
Yes. And then the Empower 360, the YouTube that that I put out there, in these little snippets that we were doing, we just had so much information
Yeah.
that we just didn't have the time to put in the TikTok or to cover in the Facebook. And so I took just all of the extra and just wrapped it over into just a YouTube. So if you want more information, those are out there on the Dr. Sandra Stubbs YouTube page. So you'll have these lives, you'll have those videos, you'll have the workbook, and you'll have resources, daily handouts. So I think we're creating enough information and resources for you to be successful.
Mhm. I love it. I
Yeah,
love it. I love it.
yeah.
All right, guys, we're chiming off for the night. Thank you for coming with us to the sneak peek. There will be many, many more. We'll upload a few of these in our subscription portion of TikTok. So if you want to subscribe with us, subscribe so you can get the sneak peeks behind the scenes. Just going a little bit detail into what we were discussing earlier in the session on our live, and then just giving you guys a little bit background on what's taking place with Empower 360. So we love you. Have a good night. God bless. And we'll see you soon.